Hey, hey, hey. Good evening, good evening, good evening. What's going on, everybody? It is convention week. It's convention week. Oh my goodness. 3 days from now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I am going to be in Dallas. I'm going to be hanging out with a bunch of you. I cannot wait. All of you amazing people. I am so fired up. I am so excited. But before we get there, we got to finish up this amazing book. I got all these notes we got to go through. Man, what a great book this has been. And I am super excited to go through the fourth law of Atomic Habits by James Clear with you. But before we get started, as always, let me know where you're watching from, where you're tuning in from. Looks like we got some people up in Canada tuning in. Good to see you, Margaret. Appreciate you being here. Cleveland's in the house, Missouri's in the house. We got Washington and Seattle and Florida and Texas and California. Good to see all of you. What's going on? Take a minute. Send your teams a message. Let them know this is the place to be. We got some really great stuff going on and would hate for them to miss it. Would hate for them to miss it. So make sure that they are here. All right. Oh, Jules, what's going on? I think you are using one of our links from before. Oh, and we got Carrie. Everyone's hopping on here. We got Carrie hopping on. You got to refresh. Hey, what's going on, ladies? All you got to do is refresh your cookies and start it over here. Hop back on. But if you can just refresh the page and in your internet browser and hop back on, I would appreciate that.
Okay.
All righty. All right. What's going on? Peter, Carmel, and PJ from Minnesota. Can't wait to see all you guys. I can't wait to see all you guys. We're going to have such a great time. It's going to be amazing. All right. So let's get started here. The fourth law. I'm going to make up. Lori's hopping on too. All of our folks that were on one of our calls earlier. I think the Zoom is just pulling you right in and bringing you in as a part of it. And so, Lori, if you don't mind backing out and try to refresh your internet browser and then hop back in so it doesn't pull the old one. There we go. So sorry about that. But it's always fun to see some fun faces. So let's get into it. The fourth law. Atomic Habits by James Clear. The fourth law is make it satisfying. Make it satisfying. So if you remember, a lot of what we focused on in this book, which I've loved, the first three laws, make it, number one, make it obvious. Number two, make it attractive. Number three, make it easy. Make your habits obvious, attractive, make them easy. But the fourth law was to make it satisfying. And he talks in this book, he starts off with this chapter with this law, a chapter solely focused on the cardinal rule of behavior. The cardinal rule of behavior is basically that if experience is not satisfying, that experience is not likely to be repeated. And equally, if an experience is satisfying, that experience is likely to be repeated. The first three laws of this book are all focusing and working to increase the odds that a behavior is going to be changed this time. This law, the fourth law, focuses on specifically repeating that behavior next time. How do you repeat it next time? So a lot of what he focuses on in this first part of this, in this law is the immediate satisfactions over long-term satisfactions. How we are constantly finding ourselves in most areas of our life choosing, well, Carrie, you might just have to hang out with me with your camera off. How we are choosing a lot of our short-term immediate satisfactions over the long-term ones. He talks a lot about, the basic example that we all know, smoking cigarettes, right? Smoking cigarettes, we understand, we know what it's doing to our body. We know that cancer is a direct result of that, but the rewards are immediate. immediate rewards. And now if you take it to something as simple as, I really want to know, what's that new show, that new Game of Thrones show that's out right now? You really want to know what happens to a character this week. And so instead of doing the calls that you need to do, you watch the show, because on Monday, you want to be in the know with all of your coworkers, right? So a short-term satisfaction that allows you to be in the know, you don't see the consequence of that. You don't see the fact that in that time, you could have potentially called someone that could be your next Triple Crown ambassador. You don't see that timeline. And so it's a lot of focusing on that. And the most important part, which he talks about, of getting a habit to stick, is feeling successful, even if it's small. So feeling successful in our habits, even if they're small. This is where I was thinking, is like, how can we create, and I want you guys to think about this in your life, because we're all different. We're all focusing on different things. We're all trying to create different habits. Some of us are trying to create some habits for our business. Some of us are trying to create some habits for our health and well-being. Some of us are trying to create some habits, better habits in our family life. Some of us are trying to create some better habits in our faith. And so I want you to be very cognizant, and it's, you can give some examples, but I want you to be thinking. I want you to be thinking about, what are some of my long-term goals? And then what are those immediate satisfactions that get in the way? So, I love this analogy. I'm going to get to a second, but I want you to think about that. I want you to think about how the first three laws, making it easy, making it easy, making it satisfying, making it attractive. We talked about habit stacking. I'll go back to my notes here for a minute. Not only did we talk about habit stacking, but we talked also about one of my favorite, where is it? Got to get it in my notes. Temptation bundling. You guys remember when we talked about habit stacking plus temptation bundling? If you weren't here for that, go back and watch that, because that was one of my favorite pieces of that. But they add a new piece in this chapter. And that new piece is called habit tracking. And we're going to get to that in just a minute. In this chapter, he gives this amazing analogy, the 120 paperclip analogy. And this is all in the vein of how to stick with good habits every day, because this is the biggest thing. We got to start giving ourselves little ticks, little triggers when it comes to our good habits, something that we can measure upon. And so the 120 paperclip analogy was a great analogy that a salesperson in this book, he gives a story of the salesman that had some of the craziest numbers in this company's history. And he had one simple, consistent habit that he did every single day. Every single day, he had 120 paper clips that sat in one jar on his desk. And every time he would come in the office, he would sit down, he would pick up the phone, he would make a phone call. As soon as he hung up the phone, he would move one paper clip over to the other, to an empty jar. And for him, it was very simple. He would not leave the office every day until all 120 paper clips were moved from one glass to the other. So I want you to think about that in our business. What does that mean in our business? Because a lot of people think it's just closing. A lot of people think it's just, I got to go talk to a lot of people. I got to go spam a lot of people. I got to have my 120 conversations a day. We're two things here as professional network marketers. And this is specifically if you're looking to create habits within your business. We are professional relationship builders. And we are professional door openers. Yes, no, or indifferent is not our job. To get a yes is not our job. Our job is to get people to see the opportunity. And that's really hard for some people that it might have come from a sales job or even from an employee mindset where it's all about sales, sales, sales. You got to get the numbers up. You got to get all this stuff. But in network marketing, it's about getting the right eyeballs in front of the right opportunity. And so before you can get the right eyeballs in front of the right opportunity, you have to build the relationships necessary that has enough trust to be able to earn the right to be able to expose that opportunity. I talk to a lot of people all the time and they say, oh my gosh, they say, you know, how many people have you exposed this business to? When they say, oh my gosh, Taylor, I've been told no 100 times. And I say, really? Really? You've been told no 100 times? So 100 people have seen the opportunity presentation here at the Happy Co and have said, no, I'm not interested. And every single time, every 100% of people I ask that to say, well, no, not all of them have seen it. No. I asked 100 people to look at it. And the majority of them just haven't gotten back to me or ignored me, or they said, no, they didn't want to see it. You have not gotten a no in this business until someone has effectively looked at this opportunity and chosen that it's not for them. A lot of people get very confused thinking they get no's all day, every day, when no one that they're talking to has actually looked at the opportunity itself. They've just been looking at you. And that's a hard thing. And I'm not trying to be like a slap, aggressive, coming down on you kind of call, but that's kind of the mindset thing that we have to look at. That's where we have to look inward. And we have to say, have I earned the right to bring this to them? So when it comes to your 120 paper clips, maybe your 120 paper clips are not 120 phone calls telling people, oh my gosh, I found something that you got to check out. Maybe your 120 paper clips are 20 conversations a day, checking in with 20 people in your network a day, asking how they're doing, asking if there's anything that you can do in their life. Hey, Melissa, what's going on? I just want to check in, see how things are going. Want to see if I could be a person of value in your life this week. Is there anything that I can do to bring any happiness to your life? Anything I can do to help you guys out? And then, once you've gotten to that point where people are going, you know what? I've noticed a shift in you. Oh, if I'm freezing, am I freezing for everyone? I hope my Wi-Fi is not going out, but let me know if I'm freezing for everyone or if it's just, okay, good. Seems okay. All right. I'm sorry if any, I'm freezing for you. Try to maybe log out and log back on. But this is the biggest thing I want you to focus on is for each and every one of you, I want you to take an in-depth look at your network. And this is personal for each and every one of you. Take an in-depth look at your network and ask yourself, with the 100 people that are closest to me in my network, am I that person of value? Have I earned the right to ask for their opinion on my opportunity? Have I earned the right? Now, if the answer is no, that's not a bad thing. That just means you get to go back to the number one skill that you get to focus on, which is becoming a professional relationship builder. A lot of people want to skip past that step. And they just want to go right to the exposing, right to the door opening. Don't forget that there's a lot of beauty in building relationships and identifying those in which that you would like to be a part of your business. If you cast a very wide net, I mean, an old boss I used to have would say, if you just chum the water consistently, all you're going to get are sharks. You just dump and chum in the water all day long, all you're going to get are sharks. Be a little bit more tactical, be a little bit more specific. It's like, Erica, I want you to join my business. I've talked to you for a little while. You're sharp. I want you as a part of my team. I want you as a part of my organization because you're a value add. Not like I need you because I need to hit my goals, like I need to hit my ranks, like I need to hit my whatever. It's like, I want you to be a part of my team because I see value in you. Think about that. Instead of asking them to see value in you, see value in them. Make that your 120 paper clips a day. Visual measures he talks about. He also talks about don't break the chain. Don't break the chain is an unbelievable mantra. He says, when it comes to habits, don't break the chain. How to recover when your habits break down? Never miss twice. So we're going to talk about habit tracking for a minute. My father did something. You guys want to hear about a way that you can almost be assured that you're going to hit any goal you want in your life? Who wants to hit whatever the craziest stretch goal is that you have in your life? Put your goal in the chat right now. What's your goal? In 2023, what's your goal? Let's just say rank wise. Do you got a rank goal for 2023? If you got a rank goal for 2023, put it in. All right. I'm seeing Diamond come in there. All right, I want you to stretch it. So Misty, Diamond, you could stretch that. You could be Black Diamond. Stretch that. I want this to be an uncomfortable goal. Uncomfortable. Like, oh my gosh, I'd really have to stretch. There you go, Misty. All right. So this is what my father did at an event, live at a Network Marketing Pro event. He found a woman in the audience, just like you, that were you guys that wanted to hit a big goal. He said, you really want to hit it? You sure you want to hit it? You sure? You guys are sure? Then roll with me on this. I can't remember the exact website, but I'll find it and I'll drop it in the chat next Monday. But there's a website, an accountability tracker website. And what he said is, I want you guys to all think about this number. Don't put it in the chat. You don't need to put it in the chat. My father made her say it out loud. But I want you to think of a number that would be a dollar amount that would be wildly uncomfortable for you to lose right now. It wouldn't make you go bankrupt, but it would be very uncomfortable if you lost it. Say it was $5,000. Say it was like, whatever, whatever that number is for you. Think about it. Maybe it's $500, maybe it's 20,000, whatever that number is. What would be really uncomfortable? Again, it wouldn't make you bankrupt, but you don't want to lose it. Think about that number. For this woman, that number was $25,000. Very, very, I mean, he stretched her to get to that number. And so if you guys have that number in your head, I want you to think like this. Now, you don't have to do this, but maybe just think like this. He said, okay. He then took it. He said, okay, so the number is $25,000. Her big stretch goal was to have 400 people at her next company event. He said, okay, so this is what we're going to do, me and you. We're going to set up a little accountability tracker. And there's a website that does this, does it for you. He said, you're going to take that $25,000 and you're going to put it into an account on this website that locks it in place. It's untouchable by you. Then he asked her, he said, is there someone in your life, an ex-boyfriend or an ex-husband or something like that? You guys had a bad breakup or something like that? And she goes, yep. I, a few years back had a really bad breakup. We parted, it was horrible, really nasty. Really bad guy. He goes, okay, perfect. If you don't hit your goal, and they set up all the deadlines and the dates, then that $25,000 will go to him. I couldn't believe it. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about someone in your life that maybe you don't get along with very well. I want you to think about someone in your life that maybe you have a little bit of tiff with or something like that. And I want you to think about the most uncomfortable amount of money that you could lose. And I want you to think about what it would feel like to give that person that money if you didn't hit your goals. So just think about that for that person in your life. You're going to have a chuckle. You're like, Taylor, you're out. There would be no way that I would send that money to that person. You're out of your mind. You are out of your mind. No way. But that was a really great thing that I started thinking about. I started thinking about that and just that mentality. It's all about just, again, it's all about mindset. Putting that thought into your head just made you go, oh my gosh, I would run like wildfire. The same way that I said, look, if I gave each and every one of you $1,000 for every guest that you had on this Thursday's Opportunity Zoom, we'd have 5,000 people on that Zoom. We'd max out the line. I want you to think about that. What's stopping you from doing it without that $1,000? Because we can all know the long-term satisfactions of getting eyeballs on the opportunity. So, habit tracking. How many people track their steps? This is a really good thing. I love that analogy because he talks about, habit tracking is hard because not a lot of people really want to track their habits. It's like he says, when you start working out, you'll track your habits for the first week. You track your calories, track your, all your reps, all that stuff for the first week. And then after that, you lose track of it. But he said some things we track pretty regularly. You track your money very regularly. You track your credit card statements and your bank statements pretty regularly. You have an app on your phone. You can see how your spending is. You track your steps. Put a 3 in the comments if you track your steps, if you guys are trying to get to your 10,000 steps every day. I know that we're doing that now, pacing all over the place, trying to hit our steps all the time. And so I want you to think about the mindset of tracking some of these habits. So what are some of the basic habits that we need to be focusing on? And again, this isn't a business building mentality. This mindset Monday you might be coming here for, pulling it for something completely different. But in the vein of focusing on the business building aspects, habit tracking is really, really important because it allows you the ability to reward yourself even when you're not seeing the progress. So say you started 10 new conversations today, that doesn't equate to new signups. It doesn't equate to a rank advancement. But if you keep track of that, it allows you to look back and say, man, I was making progress. Man, I did what I needed to do. I married the process. You see? So I want you to start thinking about habit tracking. I want you to start thinking about what you could start to track when it comes to your income producing activities, when it comes to building better relationships with your network, when it comes to exposing this opportunity, opening the door to these amazing products and this opportunity to people in your network. How can you track that? And the last thing that he focuses on is how an accountability partner can change everything. An accountability partner is huge. My father said this a couple months back, and I heard it, and it was so accurate. He said, you know what every human being on the planet wants? Do you know what every human being on the planet wants? One thing. One thing. You guys know what it is? In the pursuit of their dreams, every person on this planet wants one thing. Every single person, happiness, love. Yep. Well, that's close. And I don't want to say you're wrong because I would agree with both those answers. But my answer is this. Every human being on the planet wants this one thing. They want someone that they love, trust, and respect to come alongside of them and to not let them be lazy in the pursuit of their dreams. Every single human being, Misty, Erica, Melissa, every single one of you on this call would 100x your production if someone you love, trust, and respected was standing right next to you all day, every day saying, don't stop. Why are you watching that show? You don't watch that show right now. You got more calls. Think about how many lives you could change if you just picked up the phone and made a couple more phone calls. Oh, you don't need to go to the bar right now. Oh, it's girls' night, wine night. You can go to wine night later. Let's do that next year. You got a dream. Remember that goal? You remember your why? You remember how it made you cry when you told it to your upline a few months back? Remember how you went to your kids and told them about this big dream, told them about this big passion, told them about the vacations that we're going to go on in the future with this time you're taking away? Remember? Let's keep going. That's coming if we don't stop. But if we stop, it's never going to come. There's not a single human being on the planet that would not magnify 100 times their results if they didn't have someone like that in their life right next to them. So an accountability partner, how can you get that? Some of you have it with your spouse, but at the same time, some of your spouses are enabling you to fall into some of those bad habits. That's why he talks about, and I'm not going to go into detail here, but the habit contract. The habit contract was an amazing way to kind of end this chapter. And the habit contract really talks about actually writing something out. You know, in the example, it's all about working out. A gentleman writes out a contract with his wife and his personal trainer. Every time he didn't show up for a workout, he had to give his personal trainer $200 to spend however he wanted. Every time he didn't log his meals, he had to give his wife $500 to spend however she wanted. I want you guys to think about that in your life. I want you to think about how you can start to create some punishments for bad habits and rewards for good ones. Maybe some of you need a habit contract with those in your family. Maybe you do it with your children and you have them sign it. Every time between 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock, you see dad watching Netflix instead of in the office working, I got to give you $20. Because if I'm not spending time with you, then I don't need to be watching some Netflix show. I need to be working for our future. And create your hours, create your structure. But I love the idea of a habit contract. It's not going to be for everybody, but for those that it's for, I love the concept of writing something out, having your accountability partner, having a spouse, potentially your children being involved, and creating some punishments for when you don't follow through with the behaviors that you know are in your best interest, in your family's best interest, in your future's best interest. I hope this brought a little bit of value to you guys. And recapping here, the fourth law, making it satisfying, really focuses on the cardinal rule of behavior. If it's an experience that is not satisfying, it is not an experience that is likely to be repeated. And while the first three laws, making it easy, making it satisfying, and making it attractive, while those first three laws, I missed one, not making it satisfying. Pardon me, making it easy, making it attractive, and making it obvious. Easy, attractive, and obvious. While the first three laws were focused on increasing the odds that a behavior will be changed, this time, the fourth law, making it satisfying, focuses on the repeating the behavior next time. We talked a little bit about the immediate satisfaction over long-term satisfactions. We talked about how consequences are usually delayed while the rewards are usually immediate. We talked about the important part of getting to getting a habit to stick is feeling successful. So how you can create little rewards around good habits, even if they're small. Oh, this is one thing I missed. I love this piece. It was create a loyalty reward program for yourself. Create a loyalty reward program for yourself. I thought that was such a cool concept. We have a loyalty reward program, create one for yourself. If I do the consistent behaviors, if I do my consistent things, I'm going to get to do X. And so, I mean, he gave the example again of, putting a little bank account, setting up a little bank account and naming it something. Maybe it's Europe trip or Europe fund, or maybe it's, Super Bowl or whatever's passionate for you. Maybe it's, Napa Valley, whatever it might be. And maybe every part of your check, if this is your side hustle, every check that you get from the Happy Code goes directly into that fund. And you get to watch that grow, and your family gets to watch that grow. But create a loyalty reward program for yourself, something that you can help track your success. I think that's really important. How to stick with good habits every day. We talked about the 120 paperclip analogy, creating some visual measures for yourself. Break the chain, being a successful mantra, and never miss twice. If you want to recover when bad habits, when your habits start to break down, whenever you notice those habits breaking down, which they will, life gets in the way. What James Clear says in Atomic Habits is just never miss twice. And, we talked about the habit tracker. We talked about accountability partners and the habit contract. And with that, I hope each and every one of you got a little bit of value. I am dead dog tired. I got to go get some rest. We got convention in a few days. Hopefully you guys are wildly enjoying the amazing flash sale that we launched today. If you didn't hear about it, you didn't see the email yet, we've got an amazing flash sale going on. It's convention week, so we got a convention week flash sale. $1 brand partner enrollments on all happier and happiest packs this week. And we also have free shipping on all orders over $150 or over. So $150 or more, and you are getting free shipping this week. We also got the $1 enrollment for your happier and happiest packs. Let's go push it like crazy. Let's make this September a month to remember. And I will be announcing our new book at convention. So look forward to seeing you all there in Dallas. Until then, travel safely. For those of you in Canada, for those of you in Puerto Rico, for those of you in Florida, know that we are praying for you. Know that we have you in our prayers. We hope you stay safe. We hope that these hurricanes quickly and wildly divert away from each and every one of you, leaving you okay and leaving your homes and your loved ones all okay. But again, just know that our hearts go out to each and every one of you. If there's anything that we can do to support you, to be there for you in a time of need, we are a family. Do not hesitate to reach out to us, as we will be there for you. With that being said, God bless each and every one of you. Love you guys. Can't wait to see you this week. Until then, bye for now.